Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. If you're working with an advisor, wealth manager, or anything, and they're not paying attention to you, that sucks. We're here. I hope you check us out at jazzwealth.com. Well, what do we have? I sound excited because we're getting a pullback, right? I love pullbacks, and we just really haven't seen one lately. So let's talk about this. One of the areas where the market is pulling back is in these, not like big tech names, but a lot of the broad tech names that are, Bitcoin or AI related. And a lot of them are unprofitable. I actually got this from Goldman Sachs. They made a basket or their own little sort of makeshift index of stocks that are tech related that are unprofitable. There's a lot of them actually. And so they made an index equal weighted for those of you that like to follow along. And if we look at the performance, right? It's pulled back. We've fallen back towards the top of this downtrend. Now, one of the poster children for the stocks that are included in this tech basket is MicroStrategy, or if you are new to the game, they call themselves Strategy now. They actually revamped their entire business and changed their name. They're just basically Bitcoin and various Bitcoin strategies now that relate to, or some of the offerings that they have relate to preferred shares of their underlying stock strategy in this case. But basically, it's Bitcoin, right? They used to be a software company. And if you look on their website, where'd it go? It's like they're not even offering that anymore. They're all in on this Bitcoin stuff, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But with the price of Bitcoin falling lately, you have to assume that the underlying, or the proxy in this case, strategy, is going to fall. So that's been pulling things down. Now, spread that out over many different stocks, and you have a recipe for these tech names that often can weigh a little heavy in the S&P, or maybe they're NASDAQ related. They're going to pull the index down at least a little bit. Now, Bitcoin has a big piece to this because Bitcoin is now down. You might catch this a little bit later, but at least as of the time of me making this video, we'll call it 27%, right? Down here at the bottom. So I thought, well, is that normal? It sounds like a big number. If the market fell 27%, I bet you, right? Like the phone would ring. People would be like, dude, what's up? What's going on? So, but for Bitcoin, it's actually not that odd. So here is, looking back over almost the last 10 years, here's the pullback currently. In other words, the pullback from highs. So we're down 27% from highs. That's normal. We saw that before. We've seen that before. The median pullback since Bitcoin is about 40%. There's the red line there for you to show. There could be a lot more to go, and it would still be basically average, right? So this pullback in Bitcoin could translate into more for strategy. And I get some of you love that and you would want to buy more. But I want you to know that the pullback in Bitcoin is actually not even really average at this point. It could be a little bit more, and I wanted to find a way to highlight that. It's also 219 days since you've seen a 25% pullback. That would be a record. That's the longest that Bitcoin has gone without pulling back at least 25% or more. Okay. Right? It's just like, it seems chaotic now because it's been 219 days since you've seen a pullback of this magnitude. We are still within the 648 days of Bitcoin not falling 30% or more. And that's just a fun way to go back to this, right? Here's your 27, 28% pullbacks. You got to go back into this world over here to hit that 30%. And that's why we have that number over here, 648 days. So, okay, what's the moral of the story? We have a market pullback. I hope it gets a little bit better, like that way. We have some cash in our portfolios. If you don't know that we manage our own portfolios, we do not like buy mutual funds for clients or anything. And I want to put some of that cash to work. I just want better prices. Better prices are now being found. Well, today you might sort of say retail a little bit, but they're being found in that sort of mid to large cap tech / AI / Bitcoin area, at least from pullbacks from highs, right? So they're not bad stocks. They're just pulling back. They've been overdone to the upside. So we'll see. Moral of the story, the market continues to, or has been continuing to pull back. If we go sideways from here, we got some different directions or decisions to make. We'll see what happens from there, but wanted to give you an update. Hope that helps. If you got Bitcoin, you got anything related to Bitcoin, you feel in the pain a little bit, just know that it could actually get worse and it would still be very normal, which I think the Bitcoin people are kind of into. The volatility is there. We just haven't seen it lately. So don't let that scare you out of anything there. Okay. Enjoy it. Hope you check us out at jazzwealth.com. If you want to schedule a call or work with us in any way, you know where to find us, jazzwealth.com. Adios.
We all want more. Let's open the door. Introducing the dose score.